So here we're looking at a medial view of a left foot. Now on the foot we've got 4 layers of muscle on the plantar surface. Now you need to be able to identify the muscles of the first 3 layers. So let's have a look at them. From a superficial point of view here then, we've got the abductor hallucis. So these muscle fibers here on the medial border of the foot, if they shorten, it's going to abduct the big toe, pull it away from the midline. Now then, from a inferior point of view, here we can see a muscle that splits into 4 tendons that goes to digits 2, 3, 4 and 5. If these fibers shorten, we're going to flex the toes. So this is Flexor, Digitorum, Brevis. And then laterally, attaching to the lateral aspect here of the little toe, we have the abductor, digiti minimi. So if these fibers shorten, it's going to abduct the big toe or pull it out laterally. So we've got an abductor either side, then a flexor in the middle. So abductor hallucis, flexor digitorum brevis, and then abductor digiti minimi. So 3 muscles there in the first layer. Now if we remove them, then we can see the second layer, where we can also see the tendons here, tibialis posterior, and then flexor digitorum longus and hallucis longus, and we can just kind of see, it's a bit unclear because of the vessels and nerves, but this is where those 2 tendons cross over, inferior to the calcaneus here. So this one is the flexor digitorum longus that then splits into 4, and this one here is the flexor hallucis longus that runs along the plantar aspect of the big toe. So at that same level of depth, we have a muscle here that attaches into the flexor digitorum longus tendon. That's quadratus plantae. So it's in the posterior half of the foot, quadratus plantae. And then again, coming from the flexor digitorum longus tendons, we have 4 lumbricals, just like we found in the hand. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lumbricals there, attaching to digits 2, 3, 4 and 5, just like they do in the hand. So quadratus plantae, 4 lumbricals, that's the second layer of the foot, or the second layer of the plantar muscles of the foot. Now in the third layer again there are 3. We can see muscle fibers here that are attaching to the big toe, the plantar aspect of the first digit. They're either side of the flexor hallucis longus tendon, and if these muscle fibers shorten, they're also going to flex the big toe. So this is flexor hallucis brevis. And then just on the lateral side of that, there are 2 muscle bellies here that are on different angles. So we've got one running this way and one this way, but they're attaching to the lateral side of the big toe. So if these fibers shorten, they're going to pull the big toe towards the midline. So that's adduction. So these fibers are both parts of adductor hallucis. And then we have a look on a more lateral aspect here, deep to where the abductor digiti minimi was. We've got a small muscle here that's going to flex the 5th digit. So that's flexor digiti minimi brevis. This one here is flexor digiti minimi brevis. This is the abductor digiti minimi here. So it's deep to it and just a little bit medial to it. So that's the third layer. So there's 3 in the third layer there. So the first layer has 3, the second layer 2, the third layer 3. The fourth layer has 2 muscle groups. So it goes 3, 2, 3, 2. 3 in the first layer, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. But you don't need to be able to identify the 2 muscle groups in the fourth layer just yet. But one that we still do need to identify, if we have a look at the dorsal surface, here on the lateral side, this is extensor digitorum brevis. Now the tendons usually run along to digits 4, 3, 2 and 1. doesn't usually have a tendon that goes to the 5th digit. And the tendons blend with the long extensor tendon. So here's an extensor digitorum brevis tendon, and it's going to join with the extensor digitorum longus tendon here. So the muscle belly is out here, not far from the lateral malleolus, just a bit distal to the malleolus there. There it is there. That's extensor digitorum brevis. That's the only one you need to know on the dorsal surface of the foot.